Have you ever felt like you're living a life that was scripted by someone else? Between the endless scroll of social media, the expectations of your family, and the constant shoulds of the world, it's easy to realize that the loudest voice in your head isn't actually yours. So, today we are going to talk about how to tune out that noise. Not just the noise of the world, but the noise of the person you were taught to be. So you can finally hear the person you actually are. Welcome back to Earth Dragon Speaks podcast. I am so glad you're here for episode 16. If you have been feeling a little lost in the crowd lately, this conversation is for you. So when I was preparing for the next video, I was wondering what should I even speak next. So this is a question that it's not something that is very recent, but it's something that I struggle from time to time. So the question is, how do I find my own voice among all the noise? Which means, how do I figure out what I actually think and want when everyone else is constantly telling me who I should be? So, when I was saying about a noise, what I meant was, if sometimes you go through any hardship or any type of situation, it could be something personal struggle, professional struggle, relationship struggle, anything, name them. So when you have there are certain scenarios where you will be finding the solution immediately, but then there are few situations which you go through, and then you are unable to find the solution or to find the answer that you're seeking at that moment. For some of us who overthink a lot, we get stuck into a loop of thinking, and we create these uh, different scenarios in our head as to how a situation could end up. And I'm also one of them. So so in this particular situation, what happens is sometimes it becomes a noise. Okay. So how do we tackle this when it happens? I may have to speak in a structure as of now, but this is something that I just thought about it. So, you know what? The first thing is you need to identify what you're going through. Forget about the noise. If you have to find your own voice, firstly, you will have to identify the problem that you're going through. And you may come and tell me that, oh, so in a stressful situation, you want me to think like that. I am only saying this so that it may help you if you are going through too much and if you are not able to handle it by yourself and if there's nobody around with you. So, when you try to identify the problem, what happens is it will narrow your thinking down, and it will you probably might be able to get the answer faster. So identify what you're going through at the moment. And when I say that, probably you have to isolate yourself if depending upon the kind of situation you're going through. When I say isolate yourself, I don't mean that you take a trip and you go to some, or maybe if that is required, I'm not sure, maybe you have to take a trip alone and go somewhere peaceful and then think, because our problems sometimes, for me it could be a big problem, but for someone else the same problem could be very easy, and like, is this a problem, you think? So I'm not going to say anything bad about anyone, because how we handle our problems is completely different. It could be the same situation, but the way you think the way you feel about the problem is completely different. Let's say you have identified the situation now that you're going through. I just want you to prioritize these questions. So I've just written it down here. So the first question is, ask yourself, is this something I can handle on my own? The second one, is this even a problem in the first place? And probably a third question you should most importantly you should ask, is this actually your problem? That's really very important, because sometimes what happens is some of us, we treat other people's problem just like your own, and there's no problem with that. There is no issue with that, as long as you can maintain and control your own emotions, your own thinking, and that you don't exhaust yourself from this problem. That's really very important. Identify first whether this is your issue. The last one, so maybe just like this, there'll be many circumstances and situations. I probably would love you to note down few of these questions that we can ask ourselves when after we identify a situation that we are going through. I would love you to write them down in the comments, so that I will be able to read them, as well as other people who find this video can also read through your questions, and they will be um, they'll benefit from what you have actually solved in life. The last one, should I reach out to someone and share? So this is really very important, reaching out. Why I say this is, we so sometimes what happens is there are different sets of situations that we face depending upon who you are, what you're doing, and why is the situation uh, exists in the first place. If it's possible, and if you think that this is actually something that is quite big, and you are just unable to handle it by yourself, please reach out to someone who eh, maybe in cases like, maybe it's an expert, a therapist or a doctor. If something that is really mentally exhausting you, then please reach out to a medical practitioner. But my way of saying this is just these simple basic experiences we face in life. So in case if you have somebody you feel safe to share your feelings and emotions, please do that. That will actually help you get the answer even more faster. And even if not, do not completely be dependent on someone's solution as well, because most of us, what happens is, we when we have to solve anything, right, we we think from our perspective of how to solve it. But sometimes the best person is you, who's actually going through that situation, because you can see all the sides of the situation at that particular time, right? And you know each and everything from your own perspective. So I deal with my own situations that way. I really firstly think that um, I'm the best person to understand and solve any situation in the first place. And if it becomes too much, then probably I I reach out to someone, or I just share. I probably may not even look for a solution. I just have to, like, mm, maybe you can say vent it out, but you can only vent it out on someone who is as strong as you are, or as strong as anybody who can actually understand and calmly handle that situation you're facing. So, say you've asked these questions to yourself, and maybe you have no one else to reach out. What I would suggest you to do is, just ensure you maintain peace and calm within yourself. That that kind of control is actually very difficult. It's easy for me to say this because I'm telling you what to do, but I'm also not just saying this to you without having any experience of my own. So there are multiple situations that I have come across, and probably I'll also agree with you that I would have not done all these things at that point of time. Because when problem happens, what happens is we always look for a solution. We just want to get it sorted. Like, firstly, we don't even sit and think about it. Like the way I was telling you to do. No, I there it wasn't like that. But just because I haven't done it at that point of time, and I'm giving you these um say consider these as like conversations that we are talking to each other, we are sharing. I'm sharing this is because uh not to prevent you from not doing the same thing, but to have a slight idea. um say you can't believe each and everybody who comes and tells you what to do, right? I'm also doing the same thing. I'm also giving you tips or advices about what to do. But out of that, how many is possible to even follow from what I said? I completely understand that it will not be easy, but uh, just ensure that you maintain peace and calm. It's really very important because we as humans, we are emotional creatures. The first thing is we will be extremely emotional about the things that we go through. It could be anything, even when you're happy. Sometimes we cry. So uh, it's very complicated. But if it's getting too much out of your hands, please get rest. Sometimes for me, what I do is I sleep. I just lie down, I sleep. I don't want to think about anything, and I just lie down. I probably I would cry if I have to because tears is a very is the best medicine. I would say it's really the best medicine. You can just shed your tears, let it go. It releases a lot of feelings that's stuck within you, and that any day helps. uh, Sometimes whenever I've seen people crying in front of me, I would just be like, I'm not going to say please don't cry. Depending upon the kind of relationship I have with that person, maybe it's a very good friend, I would say cry it out, cry it out loud, shed tears as much as you can, because after this you'll have to start thinking, you'll have to start taking actions. You cannot just be crying and crying and crying all over again. You someday you will have to stop, right? And crying maybe is the best form of a natural form of releasing your stress, but if you do too much, it can also weaken your immune system, your whole body. So make sure that you get rest, maybe cry a little, but do not overdo that. And the best thing is next is a walk in nature. This is the best and the most effective way to handle any situation if it's possible. I'm not saying that you're living in the middle of the city and where would you find nature. I mean, I understand because I travel between my own hometown and city, so I know how it is to be living in a city where it's you have to probably travel 5 hours to really be under nature. So if that is not possible, there are other ways as well. But what I wanted to say is being in nature calms and soothes you. It soothes your body, it soothes your mind, because there, the atmosphere, that space is so rich and highly concentrated with with oxygen, with plants, with these, with everything that grows in that particular, space. It could be like a park as well. If you have a park close by, and you see these days, even the government, makes these public parks and spaces where you can go and sit and just find that space or spot, or nearby a lake. These things, I think, if you just go and take a walk, and probably you can also think a little bit about that situation that you're facing. But when you are there, absorb the energy from the nature. Let nature, get inside of you. And trust me, when you come back home, you will definitely feel a little lighter. If not, if not, I'm saying this again depends upon the kind of situation you face. You can read a book. If the, if you are that strong, and just let it go. Like, sometimes what I do is, if it's too much, I'm like, I don't want to think about this. I pick up a book which I probably am halfway through and I wanted to complete, and probably it's a book that is rich with inspiration, motivation, or spiritual. I always try to do that as well. I read a lot. If whenever I get the time, I read. I keep such books with me, so that it sometimes you never know, in the last page which you have kept your bookmark, maybe the next chapter that you read probably is just waiting for that perfect situation that you're going through, and a few of the lines that you read from there, it might just be the answer for you. Life works like that. It's a beautiful, call it a beautiful coincidence, but I think that's how God works, right? Like mm, that's how God, shows us the way when we are caught in these situations. So one more thing is, watch something that you like. Say it could be a TV series, a movie, a good movie. Um, for me, if I if it's like too much in my head, and like, these are situations I'm saying which I have done over time, and not necessarily that I have done all the things at one time. It could be a different situation, right? Like, how the current state of your mind will define what exactly you will be choosing amongst these, what do you call this, like, these scenarios which I'm saying, to ensure peace and calm. I watch movies. I watch movies a lot, and try to watch something that's lighter for your mind. And again, just like what you have to read, try to watch something that's easy on the mind, that's nostalgic. Nostalgia always brings back those beautiful feelings within us. It always helps. For me, it does. And if it does for you as well, please do let me know in the comment section about these kind of nostalgias. I'm very sure all of us do have this. So watch something nice. Maybe you can watch a good motivational or inspirational animation. So I go with what is more easy. I don't like to complicate myself. Say if I'm going through something and I want to watch a sci-fi movie or a thriller, that's not happening, because I have to use my brain a lot at that point of time. So that's what I'm trying to get, like, I'm trying to tell you. Watch something that's lighter for you. not something that will burden your head, and then you'll have to think about that movie, and then you'll have to come back to your issues. No, watch something lighter. Um, I don't know why, but this animation called Flow is in my head right now, so I'm just telling it to you. Maybe you can watch Flow if you haven't watched. And that's quite a light and a beautiful movie. It's a very sweet movie. It's about this cat, and I think it's an Oscar-winning movie. And they have completely made that particular movie using this application, this tool called Blender. It's all made with that. I think so. I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but you can correct me if I'm wrong too. So it's interesting. Like, this is how I do. Like, I know I watch something, I just don't watch it. I try to get the, idea behind what they have done with it. These are the few things, they are very small, but they help you in a way that even I don't understand yet. Like, why do they help? It's still a question. So maybe, I hope that this particular piece of information, or however you treat this, an advice or a tip, will help you. And it's really very important for me that you maintain your peace and calm. So there are a few things that you can avoid during this particular uh, heavy emotions that you're going through, or these situations. First thing that I've written many, but the first one that came to my mind immediately is to tell you to avoid doom scrolling on social media. That's all we do, right? Happy, doom scrolling. Unhappy, doom scrolling. Anywhere, just doom scrolling. So that is actually quite an unhealthy practice. We all know, even I do it. But sometimes you have to be very mindful about your own habits, right? Your daily habits. Why avoid doom scrolling on social media? As you know how social media works. Say you've open, I am not at all targeting any applications, or the owner of the application. Nobody is telling us to do that. But what I'm saying is, it is upon us. We have to be the ones who should be able to control. People invent so many things, but it is up to you how to utilize that and for what, right? So it's always and always you who needs to control that. Why I say avoid scrolling on social media is because your head is heavy already, and maybe you've shed a tear or two, and you've done so many things, and it's not helping you to come out of it, and you still are looking for your own voice. So these right now that I'm going to speak to you are actually the voices. So these are, sorry, are the noises, not voices. Sorry, it's the noises, the unnecessary noises that we unknowingly sometimes we tend to participate. When you log into your social media account, you will be seeing different lives of people, different products, different things, like literally different. And say you go into your Reels tab, and you're not just going to find only motivational reels, right? You will be seeing the problems of the world. You will be seeing things that will really question your life. And each and every reel is not the same, it keeps changing. And that is not really good for us when we are going through something, because that again is like it's going to be like a chemical reaction within our mind, and it may disturb our peace and calm. So be very mindful when you scroll on social media, until and unless you're quite strong and you know what you're doing is fine. Because sometimes these days what happens is our what we think, our devices are already, getting the information, and they know what our mood is currently. So be very mindful, because sometimes the situation you're going through, you'll start seeing a random reel, a random message, a random code, and those things can again change your mind, and it can be an additional noise for you. So sometimes yes, you do come across really good words or good reels, good posts, but you know how it works, right? The ones that's more louder will always be shown to you first, and the ones that's louder will never be the ones that will help you. Maybe probably if God wants you to see it, then probably that's how it would work. Like, you would see the right information for you. It's like that is the right answer, but that rarely happens. So you have to be quite mindful when you're scrolling on social media. I think I don't have to say so much about it. If you are an adult, you already know this. So, one more thing I wrote is that in case you have somewhere to go, uh, in case if you feel too much, always cancel the plan. It's best you know, sit at home and probably choose one of the activities that will keep your mind um at calm. Or else for some people, like how it works is when they go out and meet people is when they forget their situation, and then they, for a while, and that itself may probably help. Again, it depends upon the kind of outdoor activity you are going for. So be very mindful about that. Next one is avoid gossips. This will burden you more. I honestly hate gossips. It's not that I have not never done it. I, it's because I've been part of it, and it's really not useful. And this I speak from experience, because sometimes I'm not the kind of person who loves gossips, but sometimes you will be around people who you cannot ignore, and you have to be part of it. Say in case if you feel that this, like, you are in the middle of a gossip, please run away as soon as you can. Give any kind of reason to not be a part of that. Gossips, I do you think gossips are good? I really don't think so, because a gossip will always be a gossip. It's never when we say gossips, right, it's always the bad things that we speak of others, or that we talk about something, and that'll never help you. And you should never be in a space like that. So avoid, until and unless you are that superhuman and nothing affects you, then it's absolutely fine. You can be with it if you can handle. But if you can't, always remember to stay away from it. So avoid something that will make your mind think too much, or like, it keeps your head heavy. And I've written this one particular situation for some reason, maybe because I have done it. So you can window shop, but don't buy unnecessary things just to keep you happy for a moment, and then later not even use it. Am I wrong? Tell me. So sometimes when we are caught in a situation, as such, we tend to go for, scrolling again in shopping apps. And we tend to buy something that we just want and that we don't need. So I'm trying to save money for you. So don't buy it. Don't buy just any random product just to make yourself feel good at that point of time, until and unless you really are unable to control, and you think that if you buy that is when this will disappear, then maybe you do that. But don't spend unnecessarily, like, because these things tend to take you in all these noises. So these are the noises that I'm talking about. These are the distractions that will lead you to commit to add more noises into your very simple probably situation, and it will make you even more harder to hear your own voice. I think this episode has turned out to be like a do's and don't for some reason. But always keep in mind, to whatever I have mentioned from start to until now, keep in mind that these are situations that we all face. Situations may be different, but how you handle it, probably it may help you. These are the few things that I have done for myself. But there is always a but. I am not a medical practitioner, and the things that I am telling you is completely based out of an experience. So, if you're facing any difficulty and a prolonged disturbance in your mental health, always and always consult a professional. Never just randomly take advices which is not applicable for the situation that you're going through. I think I have to say this as a disclaimer in every video. Um, I'm just a person, another person that you've met. You're seeing me online, and I'm trying to be as authentic as I can with the things that I have experienced, or the things that I have learned from others. Uh, and let's see how it goes from here. So I think it's safe to end our episode for the day, and just wanted to, say that I hope you find your own voice amongst all the noises. It's really important. And lastly, why this particular question came into my mind is that when this is one of the situation, I'm just going to end with this. I'll make it very quick. When I was starting YouTube, I had several things in my mind of what I need to do, what I need to speak. As you know, I keep saying this in almost all of the videos that public speaking is actually not everyone's cup of tea. And it's not even for me, but for some reason I'm being called to do this, and I'm just following that calling. And if what was I about to say? I've forgotten. Oh my God. Yes, so if you have to find your own voice, you will have to ensure that there will be noises that will be part of finding your own true voice. So I was saying about my own experience when I started YouTube, and obviously showing my face and speaking here, and sometimes it may happen that out we may not have that intention to hurt anybody, but some of our conversations or words may hurt someone. So I would like to apologize that beforehand, and if in case you think that I said something wrong, you can always point it out. But let's keep it positive in every way we can, because the negative is already present everywhere. And right now we need to be more hopeful, we need to be more mindful. And yes, these things which I spoke to you, uh, it's not just me who have spoken it. Probably there's many more people that have said the same thing, but just in a different way of presenting this particular topic. You may have heard it. I don't think so. There's anything that has not been said in this world. You may have, probably you don't even need this because you already know how to handle the situation. But mm, there are many of us who doesn't know. And since right now I'm just starting, I couldn't think of anything but probably just take one of my self realization experience, and then uh, make that as a question and try to find the answer and present it to you in the most authentic way I can. So thank you so much for being with me till here. And I am always grateful for this opportunity. Uh, I want to tell you the truth. I did not get much time to um, prepare for this video. I even had a second thought whether I should do this or not, because it wasn't flowing to me very naturally. But somehow, sometimes I think what happens is when we tend to resist it, uh, that's the one that actually is most needed. So I was resisting doing this particular topic, but I don't know what made me continue, so I continued with it. And whenever you find this video, or whenever my voice reach you, um, please do know that I only I'm doing this only to try and make things better for you. And if there are many of us who would want to be part of this community, Earth Dragon Speaks, you can please help me build this community and subscribe to my channel. And uh, when if you like a video, or if you think that this really help you, whatever that is, you can just hit the like button. And in case if you need to share it with somebody, and you think that yes, this may help this person, you can share this video as well. And most importantly, do let me know what you want to hear from me next. I think that will help me as well, because I'm functioning all by myself right now, and that's all I can think. And right now it's just me and my reflection all over again, until probably you find me. So, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being here till the end of the video. And I look forward to seeing you in my next video again. So, thank you so much for being part of Earth Dragon Speaks. This is Vin. Stay sacred.